So movie time at the weekend, and as you've already seen, this is Twisters. So Twisters, what is essentially the sequel, follow-up, reboot, remake to Twister, that kind of doesn't have anything to do with it. Just putting it out there. So anybody who has seen the trailer, who knows, this is it's got the same premise of basically it is tornado hunters looking for it, and they don't give too much away in the trailers. That you kind of see there is a faction, or is kind of like the paid faction and the non-paid faction, and they're just hunting, and obviously disaster happens, as all in disaster movies, and kind of it says it on the tin. There is nothing after the credits. If you want to wait during the credits as they roll, you kind of get to see where the surviving characters go. I did thoroughly enjoy this movie, just as good as the first one, maybe even a little better in my eyes, because I've seen the first one probably 2 or 3 times now, and I wouldn't say it's my favourite movie, but I did really like this one. So we shall put the spoiler warning up, and I'll just do it. So this is directed by Lee Isaac Chung. He's directed like episodes of The Mandalorian and a few other bits. So this is, say from my perspective, this is kind of his big movie, or first big movie into the world of disasters and Hollywood blockbuster, if I can get those words out. So the main cast that you need to really know about is Daisy Edgar Jones. She plays Kate. She's the main person of interest in this movie. Obviously, she comes fresh off, or probably a few years after, Where the Crawdads Sing, which was a absolutely stunning movie. So a big fan of hers. Then we had Glenn Powell, obviously from the Maverick, great movie, and then obviously Anyone But You. So he is doing quite well for himself. Very up and coming name, been around for quite a long time, but good to see him center stage. He plays Tyler, and then you have Anthony Ramos as Javi. These are kind of the 3 main characters you get to know from the film. There are a lot of other characters, but I'm not going to kind of dilute the story or anything. But anyway, you have Javi and Kate. They are the 2 main friends. They are younger. They are doing this course that they are basically looking into tornadoes, and Kate has this theory that she can stop them from happening. So these 2 are with 3 other friends who are basically doing this test on this tornado. This tornado occurs. They get their experiment set up. They have Dorothy, which is obviously one of the rough links to the first film, is the robot with the little devices in it. Now Javi, he stays away from the action. He is the kind of the techno genius, and he works things out. Kate is the kind of one who can sense it, and then her friends have kind of helped out with the procedure. So obviously Javi is away, and the 4 of these are going into the tornado itself, and that they rank them by like I think it's like T1 and T2. They suspect there should be enough for T1. Unfortunately, it turns into a T5, and then all hell breaks loose. The van gets flipped. They try to go to the underpass, and one by one, the people unfortunately get sucked in. And the only survivor is Kate, who has a big cut on her leg, who survives, and she obviously meets Javi, or meets up with Javi, and obviously it's a shocking experience. Fast forward 5 years, Kate has gone to live in New York. She works for a weather company, and then kind of she has a person to meet, and this is Javi. Basically, they've not really spoken since Javi went off to the military. They found he worked on this device that worked really well for detecting vehicles and stuff, and he wants to use it to do tornadoes, to try and do good work. So they've miniaturized it. He has a team, but he needs a proper tornadoes to analyze it, and obviously it's tornado season in part of America. So he invites her to come help him, and basically their data can help figure out what's going on, and hopefully help people warn them. So Kate says no, she's too shocked by it, and then she changes her mind and goes back, and then she works with with Javi and his team as they're setting stuff up as they are going through the process. Obviously it's tornado season, there's loads of people there, and this is where you get to meet Tyler's character, Glenn Powell. He is kind of the cowboy roughneck who has his own team who are set up, and they're all YouTube fans, which I can kind of, or YouTube personalities, and they're selling stuff, and it kind of looks like they're the sellouts, and this the tech guys, Javi has brought them on, is actually trying to do good. In the first process of them trying to set up their devices, unfortunately, Kate gets too nervous and screws up the first procedure, or the first analyze. They get some data, but they don't really get a lot. This unfortunately leads them to kind of helping the local people who were traumatized by this, and she starts to see Glenn Powell's character Tyler as a bit more of his people are selling stuff, but they make money and give it to free meals and stuff. So she's starting to warm to it. On Javi's character, obviously he works for this big company, and you realise they're actually working for this landowner, and he's kind of coming in and buying people's land after they've been, so kind of painting as the bad guy, the good, what is his friends and what you think the good guy in the kind of the up in his own personality. Tyler, obviously, then is kind of, he does have a bit of a heart. Obviously, they then go for, as she's kind of wavering on that, they then find another tornado that they go in to do. They get some data, and unfortunately, they realise that there is a neighbouring town that is going to be effective, and she kind of helps out on it. She helps out, then they go stay at a motel, and then another tornado turns up as it's tornado season, and her and Tyler managed to survive this character because she drove off after the last instance, because she realised that, Javi's character, it isn't all good. Obviously there is the landowner and it's not helping the people. This obviously then causes Kate to kind of step away from it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. Goes home, you get to meet her mum, and you get to see her designs and her shed and all this stuff. And this is when Tyler follows her and realises who she is, because she's never really been forthcoming with who she is. And there is a bigger connection, and this is where she looks for all her source material and stuff like this, and how she wanted to stop tornado and think actually it can be done in a different way, and maybe some of her stuff was off and that she needs data from like Javi and that's so she wants to give it with Tyler. They kind of come up with this calculation that they think they can do, and then they head on to the latest tornado. But unfortunately this is a conglomerate one. It goes over a fuel station and gets fire in it, and then it heads towards a town which aren't prepared for it all, so everyone kind of races. Javi's partner throughout all of this is very much going, no, we need data. Javi has a change of mind, kind of kicks him out and then drives off. And then this is where kind of the final scene plays out of the disaster, leading to Kate getting in her car with the kind of chemicals and stuff, drives into a tornado and actually does stop the tornado. I say then it leads kind of to the credits, and you have kind of what happens afterwards. It is quite so it's a good fun film movie, good action disaster movie. I think it ticks all of the boxes all across the board. I don't think it's boring in any way. It's a bit predictable. Obviously, it's a shame there isn't any connections to the original ones. There wasn't any returning cast, because Bill Paxton isn't alive. Helen Hunt, I don't think, was up for it. I feel she could have easily been injected to it, and maybe there was a role rewritten as Kate's mum. But there's never been any confirmation after it. But it was an enjoyable movie. As I say, you could have had it as a different title, and I don't think anyone would have paid much attention apart from the little references. But it's a great movie. If anything, it shines a light on Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell, of how good of an actress and actor these two are. And obviously, even Anthony Ramos, I do like him. I know he's had a few hit. I didn't do a lot of people enjoyed him in the new Transformers, or the latest Transformers movie, Rise of the Beasts. But I think he has potential. And yeah, I say they don't rely on any older actors really, or old confirmed actors. It's all kind of newish people, which is a fun, enjoyable story, except for one, obviously Kate's mum. But yeah, that has been my review of Twisters. I am going to give this a 7.2. Thoroughly enjoyable movie, definitely would recommend it, whether you like the first one or not. But that has been my review of Twisters. Have you seen this movie? Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below, and I shall see you in the next one.